And we are excited about that, aren't we, Christine?
Sure are.
Well, I fumbled my way through our first presentation. I just want to remind you who I am. I'm Mary Beth Berns from MBB Coaching. I was originally the owner of Quick Burn Salon Spa for 40 years. And my guest here today is Christine Richards. Say hello.
Hello.
Say hello for a minute because I'm going to
Hello for
present
a
my.
minute. My name is Christine Richards. I am with Sage Insurance Group, and we are headquartered out of Pewaukee. And we help people all throughout the state of Wisconsin with all different types of insurance, your personal insurance, your business insurance. So I'm a former educator. My favorite thing is to help people understand something that's usually kind of challenging.
Excellent. And I can tell you from personal experience that Christine Richards and her husband Dennis is they are my personal, just to put it out there so that we can be real. She's my personal agent as well. Primarily home for, not professional, but she has been helping me professionally as well, which is why we started talking about this and why we think it's important for us to do this hopefully short video. And thank you to everyone for understanding, because it is our first, and I don't have a studio yet, but man, I want one big time.
Plans,
So
growth plans.
that's right, growth plans. It's all about growth, right? So this is titled Small Business Buy the Dang Insurance. And one of the reasons that we were prompted to do this, both Kristen and I, is because as I walked through starting my new business after 40 years, I had a lot of questions. And I also had the great experience of using professional insurance before for a pretty large business with employees and with all the different types of insurance you need for that. So I knew some things. I know enough to be dangerous, as I have said before, not enough to really know. So Christina has been sort of walking with me through this as we together, and we both thought that we would share some really important topics that you might want to know about as a small business owner. Anything to add to that, Christine?
No, for sure. I mean, I think that a lot of people either they start out really small and they think that they are going to be covered with what they have, or they just think that business insurance is just going to be way too expensive, or they aren't really sure where to start.
Excellent. And I am going to, since I already did my little introduction, I will just tell you again that I'm doing MBB coaching. I coach primarily women, but I'm really focused on business owners as a primary thing. And small business is my favorite, from not being in business yet to wanting to grow from an independent person to employee relationship or more independence, or going from 2 employees to 10 or 10 to 20. Primarily they say a small business is 49 employees or under. So any industry, small business is small business in some sense, and insurance is insurance in some sense. So, and Christine's information is here, and we will put that in the notes on this video afterwards to how to contact us with any questions. Is that fine, Christine?
Yeah, it's great.
All right. All right. Well, what we've discovered and what I've discovered talking to small business owners and asking Christine a lot of questions, what we've discovered together is what we're going to share with you today. So I'm going to let you take it over because you're the insurance expert. And I'm going to disclaimer that and say, we are not saying that you should listen to every single word that we are saying. And we are not telling you what to do. But we are going to mention some questions that you should ask your favorite people, and you should have favorite people.
Absolutely. Exactly.
So
this is not to supersede anyone specifically, because these are general. Everything, you need to tailor what you're doing and get advice very specifically to you. Because if you are creating a business, if you are growing a business, it is unique. And your coverage is going to be unique as well. Mary Beth is coaching people to grow and, create goals and vision and go after them. And that's one of the things I love about you, Mary Beth, is that, you've always been such a big inspiration to go do it, and why would I put all that energy and money into going after something and then hope I have a plan that's just luck? I'm just going to hope that luck is going to be on my side if something happens. All right. So, there's three things that a lot of newer home-based businesses or small businesses might not be aware of. I'm going to break it down really quick. So the first thing is that people are not necessarily aware that their personal homeowners or their personal auto insurance might not cover what they're doing. So if you are baking stuff, if you're a caterer, okay, and you are making food and you're having a business, you're delivering it, your homeowners, your personal homeowners is a personal policy. When you exchange something for money, now you've become a business. It has now become commercial. So your personal insurance policy, generally, again, most of them, you have to read your own exclusions, but most of them are going to exclude anything that you do for money. Same thing with your auto insurance. So that's the thing that you have to look for your exclusions in whatever home or auto policy you have. So that is the biggest thing. You want to make sure that you're looking at that because it could be really super scary. The second thing is that people think, okay, well, I'm just going to set my business up as an LLC or a corporation, and that will protect me, which is fantastic. I definitely, love it when people do that because setting it up that way is going to make it a separate entity. All right. Something happens, they're going to sue the corporation, right? Because that's who did whatever. However, if I am the corporation, okay, and they don't have insurance, and I am me, and I also don't have insurance for the business, okay, and I'm that same caterer, and all of a sudden I've burnt down my kitchen, the LLC, Christine's Creations, okay, is not going to pay for my kitchen fire, right? Because they don't have, the LLC does not have insurance, right? So that's not going to pay for it. Christine's homeowner's insurance is not going to pay for it because I have been making lots and lots and lots of food for this, I don't know, this gig, right? And it has not been properly endorsed, right, for taking money, which some homeowner policies, all you have to do is add an endorsement, right? It can be that.
It could be simple.
Just have to talk with your insurance agent. So the point is, for numbers 1 and 2, okay, is that a lot of people don't realize that what they already have is not going to cover them. And they don't realize that if they do that extra step, which is fabulous, that's not necessarily going to work 100% the way they think. So number 3, a lot of people are scared or salty about insurance agents, okay? But the thing is that we're your partner. Talk to us. We have tons of resources. Yes, undoubtedly. You tell us that you are taking money for, doing a business, and we start endorsing things to correctly protect you. Yeah, it's going to increase your price. Of course it will. But if something happens, we will take care of it. All right. But the other thing is that there are so many resources. They can train you on how to protect yourself from cyber free. They can train you on where to go to get safety plans. They can train you on whether or not you need safety plans. Free.
Well, that's fabulous.
Right?
I didn't even know that. So
I
see,
didn't
I'm
know
learning
that
too, right along
until
with
I
everybody
started.
else.
Right. I didn't know that until I started selling commercial. They don't want you to have a claim, do they?
Correct.
So they are truly, we are truly your partners to help you avoid the claim, all included. So those are the
Now,
first three things.
so I will just add in here that Christine's been helping me personally with these same exact things. And realistically, the when I added something to my auto and my home, I mean, it's minimal. It changes like cost wise, but massive amount of safety for me, right? That difference.
Absolutely. It was, I
So
mean, everyone's different, but we could add just onto your personal stuff, coverage to take care of your home office, make sure that stuff was covered, and make sure that if you were driving to go visit clients, that while you were driving, that was covered, the business use. And it was really,
it doesn't have to be right. There are some things that are going to add to your insurance bill, but we've seen over the last few years how many different things happen in the world between weather and earthquakes and I mean there's just weird things that happen, and you want to make sure that you have coverage that will cover you for the things that you're going to need. And also you want to make sure that you're not paying more than you have to, which is why actually having an agent is important, in my opinion, because I couldn't ask all these questions to somebody online. When I'm filling out a document online, which I do all the time for other things, I can't even get through the document without having questions come up in my own head. So, we're not telling anyone what to do. We're just saying each individual business is different, like Christine mentioned, and each business should have specific coverage to that business. And most people don't know what a new business or a business that they've been operating for a while, even that they have to do it sometimes. So our homework for you is to go and ask your agent or ask resources. And of course we're here, but we're not trying to sell you. We're trying to equip you. That's what we're here for.
Just have the conversation.
Right. All right. So we do have some more. You had some more information, I think. I get my little screen to go. Let's see.
Yeah, just one more slide.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give it over to you again.
So when we're talking about having that conversation, the reason why you want to do that, and Mary Beth, you said you don't want to be paying too much, or you don't want to have stuff that you don't need. There's so much that you could have. There are 5 that a lot of people would want to look at right away and just check off, and you wouldn't necessarily need these, right? But you would want to just check off the list. But again, you might need workers' comp. You might want to insure your business income. You might want employee honesty, liquor liability. If you have contractors, there's so many different things. I could list, pages, but everyone wants to just look at protection of if they get sued, liability, and for their stuff. Those are the 2 main things. It's just like your home and auto. If someone sues you and your actual things, right? So that's your liability and your business property. Now, if you're a small business, again, but it's bigger than just endorsing it on your home, there's something called a BOP, or business owners package, or there's a commercial, it's a little bit, bigger. So again, they can tailor it into different packages. Sometimes if you are leasing a space, like a storefront or a brick and mortar, like I have an office, I have a lease, I have to have liability insurance in case I damage the property. So I was required. But other than that, a lot of times it's not required to have different insurances. I get calls a lot if people are signing up to do farmers markets and things. Sometimes they need liability insurance. So
That would make sense.
yeah, in case they knock down everyone's stands or something.
Right.
So those are two that are very common. Then you've got your vehicle insurance. If you're driving your car for work, and I'm not talking to go to the office and go home. Okay, that's just anyone just driving to work. But if you're driving your car for the purpose of your job, or you're driving inventory around, then you want to talk to your insurance agent. It may just be, again, a little endorsement on your normal insurance, or you may be better suited for a commercial auto policy. Sometimes that commercial auto policy can be the exact same price as if it was on your personal. It doesn't have to be, oh, it's scary to ask for that quote. I've done them, and sometimes it's better coverage for that same price. So don't worry about doing that. It's not scary. So think about your vehicles. And then you've got professional liability. So that's if somebody is going to file a lawsuit against you for a mistake or an oversight, whether maybe you were negligent or they think you were negligent. You don't actually have to have been negligent or make a mistake. That's the ticket. People can sue you for like anything. Okay. And then you've got cyber liability. This is a huge one these days.
Well, this one's a kind of a new one because I hadn't even heard the term of that just till recently. So, and I have gone through a lot of things. Like, I'm not even sure if Craig Berns at this point has, well, I would imagine they do because they have a really good agent too. But I'm not quite sure what this actually does.
So anytime that you're collecting now it used to be like, oh, if you were just collecting like driver's license numbers or credit cards, the real sensitive information. But now they're saying if you collect pretty much any information that can link, people together. So, if you collect a birthday and a name, an email address and a name, an address and a name, because if your data if you get hacked because somebody sent you one of those links and you accidentally clicked on it, we've all gotten those emails. And then, if I get hacked and then Craig Berns get hacked by the same person, and they connect those databases, they can connect enough information, so you get cyber liability coverage, and there's a couple different pieces within that, but it protects, because there's actually like protocol. First you've got to notify the people that were involved. Oh God, I don't know what to do, right? Like, what would I do? How would I know what to do if I get hacked, right? That's the first thing, like, probably a new business owner would ask. Like, that's why those resources I talked about on the other screen, they will train you, they will help you, right?
Well, is that the same thing as, there was a time where when you took in credit card information and it was actually then stored in your, let's say, your platform, your POS or your software that you're using. But now a lot of that is like out in protected space. Like it's done through bank card or something. Like I can sort of keep your information on file so that we can use your card again and run a recurring payment if necessary or whatever. But it's not really me that's storing it. It's the
system, like
service that I'm hiring basically and paying a percentage to that is actually holding it all. And I might see only the last 4 digits, or I might see, the last 2 digits, or, it's there's a term for it. I forgot what it was, but it's protected. But it's not protected by necessarily the small business owner. It's protected by the conglomerate sort of that has it. Is that, if they get hacked, then does the small business owner have to then do what you were talking about?
So again, there are different, check mark
Mhm.
boxes, that you can
Right.
pay for. And here's my thought. And again, it would depend on how much business you do, et cetera, et cetera. If somebody had a severe financial loss
Mhm.
because of, that situation, okay, and they were going to sue. They would
Mhm.
probably sue you first because you're the customer facing.
Everyone.
Then,
Yeah.
of course, they'd sue Square or pay, whatever, all
Right.
those different processing companies. And you're still going to have to defend yourself.
Mhm.
The thing about insurance is, if you think about it, how much does an attorney cost an hour?
Oh, lots.
More than $200 an hour?
Oh, yes, I'm
Okay.
sure.
So how much do people think an insurance policy costs a year? So
Yeah.
if you compare the cost of how much you would spend for an attorney an hour compared with how much you would spend to pay for the insurance per year, the insurance gives you the attorney that will defend you. So you
That's
don't pay
interesting.
extra for that attorney to go and take care of it. In most
I know,
cases, again.
right. I know that we're not professing to advise anyone personally from this video. Again,
Right.
we are just putting questions out there for small business owners like us both to ask your people, whoever your people are. But I think that it seems like most people would qualify in some form or another to under that taking information, right? Like who doesn't collect emails, who doesn't collect birth dates, who doesn't, or I mean, I don't collect birth dates, but the goal is to collect emails in truth, right? So
Well,
I
and
don't
a lot
know a
of
business owner that doesn't.
to do like a customer morale, I want
Yeah.
to send birthday cards to customers, right? I mean, we want to now be friendly with our customers. So we want to send birthday cards, right? Or
Any
birthday text
any
messages.
any brief look into what cyber liability costs? Like I don't even know. I mean, are we talking about $100 or $1,000 a year, and I know it totally depends on the type of
In
company
between.
it is. Yeah, well,
It
I
would
guess
depend on your
again,
business. I mean, because you
yes.
think about it, like for me, I collect a lot of sensitive data. I'm an insurance agent. I got
Right.
a lot of info that I'm bringing in. If you're not collecting a lot of data, you probably don't have as much. A lot of times the insurance applications, and again, depending on what type of insurance, what industry you're in, they're going to be asking questions like, how much did you make in revenue? How many customers, maybe they
Right.
might have like band, they're going to ask questions. And if you are brand new to your industry, it's totally fine to say zero. I didn't have any
Sure.
sales last year. I don't know what I'm going to make this year, but
Right.
I'm hopefully going to make, 10 grand. I don't know, I mean, that's totally
Right.
fine to say that, but they are going to base things on that. And when in business insurance, you will be doing annual reviews. It's not like your personal insurance, where maybe you'll wait a couple of years and then when the rates go up, you might call and have a discussion. With business insurance, I mean, think about Mary Beth, when we first talked about your business insurance, when you described what your kind of thought was about your business, to like now or last month, you had so many more ideas and visions for what you wanted to do. Things change in 3-4 months.
Sure. Especially when you're at the origin of the whole
Yes.
creation of a new business, right? Like
Yes.
what it looks like a year later is almost always slightly different or more than what you imagined or less than what you imagined because you discovered that it's better to go. What did I hear today on when I was listening to a book? In order to go fast, it's better to go slow until you're prepared.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
So, yeah, actually, I do too, because as I've stumbled forward, and I really do, I looked at all of my stumblings forward as an opportunity to discover what questions we should be asking. And that's really why we're presenting this information here, because you and I have had some really good talks about it. And I think that through that process, you're more ready to answer questions, or even for,
Yeah.
even through our conversations, you've moved closer to being able to know more information, right?
Oh, sure.
So I think that this is the first one of many. And I know Christine will be back because I have a lot of more questions for her myself. But I wanted to keep this one a little bit short so that we could see how it goes, and also so that we could get some practice in. Remember,
Or find
John
out what
Maxwell
questions
says,
everybody has.
right, right. Now, remember, John Maxwell says failing forward is a good thing. And I always believe that too. So if this one's slightly messy and not perfect, and I don't have a studio yet with a with really good equipment, which I'm sort of looking for.
We need a laugh track and an applause track in your studio.
Really? Oh,
Mhm.
I need engineers to make sure it looks good, because I like to do things well. I like to be insured well. I like to be protected legally well. Like I like to give back that same level to all of the people that I get to work
She's
with. So
fabulous, isn't she, everyone?
yeah. So if you have any questions for us, for Christine, particularly about insurance, I mean, I will tell you one thing. Do you mind if I share this about my business insurance?
You're going to share? Yes, go.
I mean, Christine is not going to oversell you. She is not going to make you buy something that she wouldn't herself purchase. So to be fair, I'm going to tell you that if you have a question, she will honestly answer your question. And if you can find an answer someplace else, no big deal. So I think that she would be a great resource if you have questions, and we will post a way for you to do that or get a hold of us. And also whatever any other information we should put on this at the end, like send along besides contact information. What do you think, Christine?
Well, I do have that paper. Will you send the next slide?
Oh, sure. Nice. A little slow to move. Oh, there we go. Oh,
So,
nice.
if anybody wants to find, I have a white paper, which has some information about if you're going to go talk to your insurance agent, but you are not really sure what they're going to ask or what you're going to need.
Oh, good.
You want the bullet points of what you can expect. Sometimes that can be really nerve-wracking. So if you want to text the word business to 262-737-5080, that's my office number. You will be able to download a little white paper. Not going to start texting you like crazy. It may ask you to opt in, but you can always opt out. But I don't do that because
it's very easy to opt out. All you have to do is text stop. Generally, that's
exactly. But
right?
We don't do that anyways. That's way too complicated to market like that for my business. So we don't do that kind of thing. But you will be able to download that white paper and get some tips.
Okay. I probably have that white paper since you are my agent, but I might want one too, just in case. So I can use it as a, oh, thank you. Well, again, I just want to say thank you to you, Christine, because you made the time today and you were willing to be my first guinea pig, and hopefully you will return for more. And for anyone out there, if there are some topics that you have for Christine, specifically any kind of insurance questions, I mean, we're not professing to know the answers, but we can certainly dig around a little bit, and we're both willing to, help people in any way that we can. That doesn't, it isn't too time consuming to look something up or whatever. So please let us know if there's any other topics that you would like us to actually share about, and we'll try to keep our videos short so that you can go ahead and watch them while you're taking a bath and having a glass of wine or whatever. All right.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Christine. I appreciate you. Bye.
I was going to say, I don't know how to leave.
I gotcha.